Hey guys, I think I'm live. I'm just trying to get all the last bits sorted out. But I'm pretty sure we are live. Hi Erica. Just grabbing my reference because, as always, I'm not organised. Coffee man's on late, which means that by the time you've fed, showered, storied, bathed, whatever, the kids, it's generally zipped by. I think it's under my messenger. There it is. One funky monkey. Okay, I'm hoping we're going to get a good portion of the left hand side done today. So we're going to be concentrating on the hand and the shoulder behind her, and we're also going to be working on the bandana as well. So there's going to be a bit of green, a bit of red, some very subtle whites. Hi Carol. Some very subtle whites in there. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I'm looking. I think we need to smooth this out a bit in here, but I might fiddle with the hair later on. So I'm just Mike's all the way over the other side because I'm a dingus again. It is now next to me and you can probably hear me better. Say hi Mike, which can't because it's going to trip up my lighting. It's like an ice cream. Sorry, that would have been really loud. Strange noises. Hi Joe. Right, I'm trying to remember to blue tack my paper down because I've actually given myself RSI by holding the paper too tight to the desk. One downside of not working tilted. So I've done myself no favours whatsoever. I will be doing some more eraser reviews at some point as and when I get some more erasers. But I spent about 25 quid altogether in one go, so I thought I best wait until I can get some more. So quickest thing to probably do is get the bandana done, get that finished, and I don't think it's going to take long at all, and it's very yellowy. I seem to have all the same colours in here at the moment. Okay, I'm going to put a green base down first. And I've made up this section here, which I did on the original one as well, because for some reason, I don't know why, the crop I've got seems to be square, which it wouldn't have been when I took the photo. So I don't know why that's happened. Any little do, Bonnita, don't be fussy. Okay, so for a portion of people, Instagram, WhatsApp and Facebook are not showing any photos, so that's why I'm not able to comment on any photos in the group, because I cannot physically see them. So yeah, I will as soon as I can actually see them. I'm not expecting it to be particularly busy online tonight, so there's probably not much in the way of questions that you haven't already asked, but of course if you have any, fire away. Ah, okay. I hadn't actually looked that closely before. So I'm going to add that in there. There's like a white swirly pattern, which I haven't included in my line work because I didn't zoom in. So that teaches me. Oh, yes, I have. Okay. I have. I take that back. And then there's a fine white line around the edge of the flowers. So I need to make sure I include that. I will look up in a minute just to make sure there's no questions sitting there waiting to be answered. Okay, I think that's it. The right side of mine is quite blotchy. The skin is not easy. Don't give yourself a hard time over it, please. Because Carol and anyone else that's struggling with skin, this is the whole point of me redoing this picture, because mine was exactly the same. This was the first person I did in coloured pencil. I'd done it in graphite before, but not in coloured pencil. And, you know, I have the same effect as what you are getting. But then 2 years down the line, we're in a completely different crossroads. So please don't get frustrated with yourself early on. It's like you wouldn't get frustrated at a toddler not being able to walk, or a baby not being able to walk, because everybody progresses in their own time, and the more you do them, the more confident you get, which means the more likely you are to start applying a bit more pressure. You are going to allow that little bit of muddiness, because there is actually nothing wrong with a bit of muddiness. You know, not all skin is completely clear and angelic and beautiful and smooth, and you know, you do get that, especially in shadows, you do get that sort of almost muddy look. So please don't beat yourselves up over this, because it just is not worth it. And the more you do and the more you practice, the better you're going to get. And the reason why I do the graphic on the Patreon, graphite, is because the graphite teaches you just how dark you need to go tonally. So I'm pretty sure, Joe, you've done it already. You've done the fisherman tutorial. There is going to be August, there is going to be another portrait, because we haven't done a portrait in a long time. So there is going to be another one in August. So, you know, it gives you a bit of time to practice. I'm probably going to do an adult, and it probably will be in coloured pencils. So Coffee Man's off tomorrow. which means I can concentrate on getting the first part of the white dog tutorial done. I mean, I can tell you not to be self-critical until I'm blue in the face, but I still do it myself. I still criticise, even the car recently. Yeah, just, it's so easy to do, isn't it? Just to give ourselves a hard time over something. Okay, so that's the basis of the green, and I needed a yellowy green, so this is pretty much perfect for that. There is an advantage to being self-critical, and that is the fact that if you are quite self-critical, then it means you're willing to progress and you're willing to try and you're willing to carry on. You know, you can't grumble at that. That's a really good attitude to have. I'm very much one of those people that if I want to know how to do something, I will go find out how to do it. Well, that's not fair, is it? Thank you, Carol. It was a challenge, to say the least. And to do a car at that size when you have so much to get smooth was quite tricky. Right, have I blue tacked it down? No, we're okay. Right, we need the bigger ball, I think. Okay, we want one there, one there, and then we need a smaller one in there. Just make them deeper. Then we've got some here. I had some quite epic, well, I have some quite epic news. I think it's epic with regards to the car, but I don't want to share it until I have confirmation. Because I'm a tease like that. Big tease. It's not my birthday tomorrow, question mark. You've had your birthday, haven't you? A big happy birthday to Carol on Monday. It's not my birthday till February now. Really should get a pencil extender on this. Get my jazzy one out. I hope not. I've had my fill at 2. No more than 2. Right, the hair we couldn't finish off until we're done in this section, so I'm going to keep filling the areas I need to, and then we come back and we do the hair after. Don't know how well you saw, but I indented the, you probably, well, you can just about see it. Just indented it to help me, really. I'm doing a red base, but it needs to be orange. So, and because my pencils are all over the other side of the room, can't bother to get up and get any. I'm just going to use whatever yellow I've got on top, because that's the sort of lazy ass artist I am this evening. Yeah. So I did take it out, didn't I? Yeah. So I'm teaching you don't have to have an orange pencil. There you go. That's what I'm doing. I'm not being lazy. I'm teaching you something. I promise, she says. You might be able to see it a bit easier on this. I know you're not zoomed in, but God, you've got to love the indenting. It does make life easier. Congrats on winning that thingy. Winning that thingy. Okay. If you don't know what SBS is, I shall give you a very quick explanation while I ponder on whether I have a yellow, which I don't. Okay, so SBS is Small Business Sunday, and it is ran by, if you ever watched Dragon's Den, it is ran by Phthalo, who was one of the original Dragon's Den investors. So every Sunday you tweet him your business with, I don't know, a relevant tweet that you think will sell the business to him. And then he picks his 6 favourite for that week. So once he's picked his favourite, you then become a SBS member. So you can basically have the award shown. You can say that you're backed by Phthalo. Every year they have a get together in Birmingham. I went when I won it for my graphic design business. And I'm definitely going back to get it for this, because I waited something like 3 years, I think, to pick up the certificate for the graphic design business. And you, depending on what your business is, so say for example Gummy Glove, I don't know how many of you know Gummy Glove. They were an SBS winner, and they were able to pitch to like Theo, and then you could sell in the stores that he runs, red letter days, things like that. So you have the opportunity to pitch your business to him if you sell items. Of course, you join the club, so you make some really, really good business contacts. It's just, my Twitter has gone absolutely mental over the last 3 days, and it's not stopped. And everyone's just really, really friendly. And I wanted to win it on this business, because you can't, if you've won it on one business, you can't really win it. You can't use it on your, start again. You cannot use the award you received from another business on your new one. So I wanted to get it for the new one to then make sure, I basically, that's 3 awards I've now won. I've won the Jackie Gould. If you don't know who she is Anne Summers' owner. She gave me the Women on Wednesday award for small business. I then got Queen of Pencil Portraits, Queen of Pencils, something like that. and it's a Queen of Award. Again, these are Twitter awards. And I have also been nominated for the Kent Business Awards, which I have to fill out the form that they've sent me now, which is a bit nerve-wracking, as it's a much more, I don't know what you'd call it, because it's not a Twitter award, it's actually a Business in Kent award, and you go to a big ceremony and you don't find out who wins until the night. It's all very big and snazzy. Thank you, Carol. It is a really, really big thing, and yeah, I sort of underplay it really, and I shouldn't, because hundreds of people tweet him every Sunday. And he has to really, really like either what you've tweeted about your business or what you're selling or what you do to then go on and win the award. It just puts recognition for small businesses, and, you know, especially when you're in the portrait business or drawing business, I think it's really hard sometimes for self-employed or small artists like myself to get the recognition, and doing something like Small Business Sunday helps towards that. I'm just blending it. There's something on here and it's scratching my paper, and it's very annoying. I'm going to use the green to blend out over the top, because although there is like an orangey tint to these shadows, I don't want to lose it too much, so I'm just going to use the darker green to go over the top. I need to orange that flower out as well, don't I? Better. Oh, I haven't done, hang on, I haven't done my shares. Not that Facebook's even working properly at the moment, but let's get it out there. No point in me doing Instagram because the stories aren't working. I wonder, out of interest, I might get told off, I don't know. I've got such an itchy eye. There's a group that I'm with, Drawing Pencils or something. It's a massive, massive group. And they approved a post from 2018. That is why, you remember when my live feeds used to have like 200 people watching? That's why my live feed dropped, because it was a live feed that they approved, and we're talking 6-7 months later, more than 7 months. No, it'd be nearly a year actually. It's stupid. Eyelashes stumps everyone, and yeah, I will. I'll show you very, very quickly. I'm just gonna see. I'll share it in my art share group. I'll show you a quick trick to doing it. Oh God, can't remember what group it is. Oh, hang on. That might work. I don't know. Okay, so the thing about drawing skin is just blending in between each layer. So let me grab... Oh, why is it everything I think I have to hand? I don't. Let's just grab this. It's got pastels on the back, but... Right. How many of you, when you're colouring, go like that? Up and down. And we just do this. Probably should have done it darker. In fact, I'll do that again with the caput. So are we just doing this motion when we draw, and then do we just go over it again in the same direction? So Carol, can you tell me if this is the finish that you're finding? This grainy finish. Okay, now we're all guilty of doing it, even I do it. So the thing is, first of all, is you have to practice at it, and it soon becomes muscle memory. And it gets to the point now I find it really, really hard to do it any other way. Rather than going backwards and forwards, you need to... It might not look like it in the camera, but I'm doing ovals, like really. I'll draw some out. I don't draw it hard. This is the shape I'm drawing in. So when you come to do a surface area, you don't tend to get that backwards and forwards pencil motion. You then are able to get a better coverage, a more even coverage. So what you then do is you come in the other direction. And I'm still doing oval motions. I'm not going backwards and forwards, but because the ovals are long, it looks like I'm going backwards and forwards, but I'm not. I'm going like that. What I might do is I might try and get a slow-mo video of me doing it. It might help. So we go in the opposite direction. Then we can come back and we can go back in the other direction. And then you can swap and then come back. Now that's 5 layers, 4 or 5 layers. So now you need to start applying pressure. So we just put a little bit more pressure as we go. If you find it hard to apply pressure, move your fingers down the barrel of the pencil. And then you're able to apply more pressure. I mean, I'm still doing ovals. And then we switch. Then we apply a bit more pressure. And you can even go up in this direction. And then to the last point where on the top layer, you can add more if you want, but on the top layer we're probably about 9 to 10 layers in now. It's much less grainy and you've got a real rich pigment. Basically the same technique for brushing your teeth. Yeah. If you then want to make sure you get it really smooth, you can come in with a slightly lighter colour and then just apply even more pressure. Now I'm going to show you the difference between using a Polychromo, which is this side, and then coming in with the buff titanium. Now the buff titanium will saturate or desaturate your colour. But I've blended all those areas together, which means you can then come back over, light pressure, and add a bit more of that colour back in. So you just bring up the saturation again. So can you see the difference between the smoothness? This is why I recommend we use Luminance to do the blending. You get a much smoother blend using the Luminance than you do with the standard pencils. But I'm not sure how many times you layer, Carol, but I think we got up to 10 or 11 layers. I think it was 12 on that one. But hopefully that gives you a better idea. But that's nice. You do get the burnish. There you can see the burnish, which you wouldn't get on a lighter layer. But I don't mind the burnish, but some people do. The important thing is going in the other direction. So just switch directions each time you go onto the layers and apply a little bit more pressure each time. Because what you essentially do when you get to this level is you end up pushing the waxes around, because waxes are waxes. They have a melting point and they start to heat up. So you really do start to push those waxes around, which means you're really pushing them into the tooth of the paper. It's why layering is one of the most important things, really. Just look back in my phone there as it's come off. Going in with the green. But as I said to you the other day, my friend really liked it because you have a really nice, naturally light technique, and you know that might be your style. That might work for you. There are other artists that are very similar in that sense, that have a very light touch. They don't like to go heavy, and that could just end up being your style. I saturation burnish quite a lot, and I find it gives me the smoothest finish. I think you did. I just went through explaining how to get a smooth skin tone. Not the end of the world. You can rewind the video later. It's not a problem. See, it's not just for skin tones. Why have I missed an entire section of green there? That's quite clever. The only thing you have to be careful with the Luminance pencil is you don't go heavy too quickly and don't put it on too quickly either. It's one of the last few layers ideally you need to be using, otherwise it gets really, really waxy and you can have trouble moving things around. Oh, it's getting really hot in the den and I don't want to open the doors because the cats will do a runner and she's a dirty stop out. She stays out till really late and I don't like it because we've got quite a few foxes and badgers around here. That looks really, really yellow. I can't believe how yellow that looks in the camera. That's quite annoying. Don't get that. You can see the green pen, so I don't understand why it looks yellow. It's really strange. It's greener than that, trust me. So I don't know what's going on there. A bit more shading. It's really subtle shading as well, so that's why I've decided to go on to the slightly darker green. So rather than it being too obvious, I just want it to be a little bit more subtle. I'm going to leave the area white that should be white. Normally I don't do that. Normally I'll fill it with titanium buff. But for today I'm going to leave it and I might come back and fill it later on. I will decide later. Okay, so we've got a dark red in there which coincides with this crease. And this bit just needs a bit of shading. And this one. And this one. Ah! Snap my lead. Cool. Instant crease there, just that tiny bit of extra colour added in, and it's really brought that 3D perfect. Sharpen it, Bonnita. That's better. We just need it a tiny touch darker under here. Bit of caput, I think. I don't know why I've got 2 caputs out. I don't. I have 3, I think. Being greedy. You notice how I haven't touched a warm grey yet. I probably could, but I'm quite happy with that as is. Okay, let's move on to the tricky colour of the hands. And now the hands are pretty red in the shadow. I mean, the whole sort of picture is quite red actually. So at the minute I'm going to leave her fingernails plain, so I don't have to worry about coming back and doing that till later. If you want me to zoom the camera in, just let me know. I always try and keep it panned out so you can see the whole thing. But if you want me to zoom in, just let me know. I need a drink. I use oval motion for anything that is a fill colour. So for any large areas, any large surface areas, underneath fur, yes, I would. So say for example, let's just grab, so for example, this is then fur. So I've done all my base coat on my fur, and we just want to get some fur in over the top. Just using this tie to give you a very quick rough idea. You then, after you've got your base laid down, so all the colour that you can see through the hair, I would then come in on the top and then add my fur strokes, which never go in the same direction, rarely, unless they're really, really short. So you can then come in and do your fur over the top. If you've got a tombone, you just need to add a couple of highlights in there. You can do that. I'm only getting black because it's the darkest thing I've got at the moment, but it just helps give you an idea. I don't know. I don't even know if this is going to work because I've got quite a few layers. I'll just slap a bit of orange on. We'll go in and add a couple of the highlights. As I say, this is really, really haphazard and quick and very, very, very rough. But I'm just doing individual fur strokes, and then you get your fur pattern. Shimples. Like so. And already that looks like fur, and it's literally just a quick rough. Right, eyelashes. Might as well just use the pencil I've got. What people have a habit of doing, eyelashes are, first thing to do is completely wipe out your mind that you're drawing eyelashes. Okay, you're not drawing eyelashes, you are drawing exactly what you see. So if you see a massive clump here, then draw a massive clump here. The art to drawing them is your eyelashes don't just go like this. They don't. And you can put them in different directions and it won't make a blind bit of difference. It won't look right. They're also, don't do this on the bottom. What you need to study is exactly where the eyelashes sit. So on the bottom eyelid, they never start here and they never start here. They don't start on the edge. They start just inside. You do get the odd one on the edge, but generally they start just on the inside and they get smaller as you come into the eye. you get them crossing over. But the thing is not to draw them straight down. You have to draw them with a little curve. And they're always thicker at the roots than they are at the tips. So when you come to do the top half, easiest way to do it is draw. It's a good way to practice actually. Just get your sketchbooks and practice. Just draw some loops like that, some semicircles. And then from those semicircles, just, oh, wrong direction, just come out and bring those eyelashes out. And they get longer the further down the eye you get. So every time you draw an eyelash, really just look at where it curves underneath. They join up, they cross over, you get little loose ones. But again, because they don't come from the top of the lid as such, they come just slightly underneath. You need to have that curve, and don't be afraid to then fill in where those lashes sit. Sometimes you do, they call them spider lashes, where you do have quite a lot of space in between each eyelash, but then other times, you know, you don't get a lot of space. And kids' eyelashes are actually, well, I say they are, but actually that's a load of crap, so I'll take that back. I was going to say they can be quite short, but because they're so soft and fluffy, you only generally sort of see the odd one or two. You don't see loads and loads. So you'd actually draw kids' eyelashes by colouring them in slightly, and then you just get the odd one or two that comes up. Like with Amelie's eye here, you can't see hardly anything. So all you're doing is drawing a line and bringing the odd flick up. And then on the bottom one, you can barely see any. So you're only indicating what you're seeing. You don't, yeah, just eliminate the fact you're drawing eyelashes and just draw what you see. So if you're using the trace down method, trace exactly what you see there. Don't try and draw anything else. Just draw exactly what you've traced down. Hopefully that helped a little bit. Also, Joe, if you have, I don't know how many of you have seen it, but there's a live on the Patreon page where we did how to draw an eye without a reference. And there's quite a bit of info on there as well, so it might be worth you re-watching that. Oh dear. Okay. There's going to be a massive difference in this hand compared to last time. Because I can see already from the last time I drew this how light those fingers are, when actually they need to be so much darker. As I say, it's really pink down this side. So I'm going to be quite brave this time round, and I'm really going to apply the colours that I'm seeing rather than worrying about it looking really wrong. Did I say hi, Leslie? Sorry if I didn't. Hello. So we're quite pink at the top under the nail here. See, any filler, I'm using oval motion, any filler at all. I do the same in graphite as well. I do the same technique. Oh, do you know what blew me away? The work that you lot produced. In fact, in all the art classes I've done, there's just been, well, everyone's just done so well. I'm tempted to bring that luminance in. I'm trying to decide what colour I want on that edge. I think it's more of a flesh tone, to be honest. Okay, so we need to just extend this highlight round a tiny bit more. We could afford to make that darker, I think. Ugh. That's better. That's better already. It's quite amazing how pink that is, actually. Oh, my cat's eating plastic and I can't go and stop her. The thing with kids' nails is they're really delicate. You've got to get that across. I think the shape of that nail's coming out wrong, actually, so I need to come out a bit further. And this needs to be that's better. It was fabulous, Carol. If you get a chance to go along, you should go. Bonnita is such a good... Oh, thanks. It's because your teaching style works and we all feel at ease rather than nervous. Oh, thank you. I've never got that with the teaching methods, how it... Why have I got two of them? How it varies, actually, but I don't know. Maybe it's my Adele voice that everyone keeps telling me I have. Calming and soothing. I guess I just try and teach in a way that if I can follow it and I can understand it, and I pretty much need it in quite basic terms, then, you know, it should work for everyone else. So far the method has worked. Okay, I think I'm going to go. My wrist is really hurting now. I'm going to coat the whole lot, apart from the knuckle area. And then bring my friend Buff Titanium in. Yeah, zoom in. Hi, Tien Arts. That's a new one. Hi, how are you? Okay. I need to be careful because this camera is attached to this camera. Is that enough? The Luminance or the Pablos? Can I zoom? Can I zoom? Can I zoom? I have a feeling if I don't think I'm going to be able to zoom directly on the camera, because if I do, I'm going to lose the camera, because OBS is really good like that. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to get it. Okay, I think you're still in focus. That I can adjust, so there. So at the moment, she does look quite fleshy and quite pink, which she actually is in the reference. But the buff titanium will come out. And it's why buff titanium is so good for doing skin tones. See, again, even now I'm using the oval motion, but because I do it so close together and it's become second nature for me, I tend not to get any pencil marks. So I just need to gently blend out this red, and then it's quite a harsh stop in here. I say red, it's not, it's pink. Just moving my light to see if that helps. Hands were always a major issue, and I think, do you know what did it was when I did the Patreon tutorial of the old man. I think that helped me hugely. Ah, yes. Again, it's down to muscle memory. The more and more you do it, I find it physically hard to put gaps. I really have to make myself put gaps between my strokes. But as a general rule now, when you do ovals, it's really hard to have any gaps in between. So you get a much smoother colour straight away. Hi from Brazil. Hi to Brazil. From Brazil to Brazil. I bet it's boiling there. Hey John, how are you? I'm just doing a slight blend with the lightest of the flesh because it has a very slightly pink tone, whereas the rest of the fleshes as you come up have more of a flesh tone, so more beige to the colour. Hey Wendy. You did. Okay, so now I'd be inclined to use one of the 10%, but I don't really want to add any more colour at this stage. I just want to tone it down slightly. So I'm just going to use the buff titanium because anything else I think is going to add too much colour, and I don't want to do that. Plus this Luminance gives the skin just that touch of translucency. Then once I've done this, it's shaded out most of the parts so I can see exactly where I need to start going darker. And you notice how I didn't even try and worry about that being smudged, because it's automatically made it much more natural because it's blended your lines out. So I know that this is pretty much my mid-tone. So anywhere I need to go darker, I now know where I need to apply that. Because we all know that we can't go any lighter than white. So anything like that, we just need to... I don't really want to add any more pink, to be fair. I think I might go in with the Caput Mortem Violet. Bad day. Uh-oh. Has it been a better day today? Let's grab my Caput Mortem. It's very subtle, but I can see it on my phone reference where I'm looking on my phone. Just some shading in here. Just need to go a touch darker in some of these. I like the fact that the Buff Titanium also takes out some of the work for you, because where you do need to soften over and you go over the top, you've then effectively filled your lights as well. Just need to get, I think, that blended a little bit. Well, it's not terrible. I think up here needs to be a slightly bit pinker. It's too light. Just a light touch. Doesn't need to be heavy. Ow! What did you do it twice for? Didn't you learn the first time? Tetanus jab. Right, I'm going to leave that for the minute until I go on and do the other finger. I'm still really tempted to even that out slightly. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's really grinding on me how pink it is. But in the reference photo, because you can't see it zoomed in like I can, it's really, really pink. So I may I may change the colour a bit later on, but I probably just want to play with it first and see. We'll see how we get on. Just having a quick sneaky drink. Okay, so finger number 2. In fact, I might do the flesh behind her shoulder, because this would be a good section to do for Carol and Joe. We are very fleshy toned here. I don't want primrose. Why do I want primrose? Why have I even got primrose out? Where there it is. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start off with the medium flesh. No, that's light flesh. Medium flesh. It's not even medium flesh, it's cinnamon. I think they last for 10 years. Yeah, they do. Okay. So again, doing this section behind is going to help me determine how much darker I need to go on this finger. How did that even happen? Right, okay, okay. That needs moving in. Come on, Tombo. Thank you. So my ovals on this are probably 5mm wide, if we want to get technical. We are then going to blend with the 10%, which is the ochre brown, I think it is. Oh, I can't even see anymore. Yeah, ochre brown, 10%. And then because she's a bit out of focus at the back, so I'm very gently going to blend her out on the top of her shoulder, because I want her to be as she is in the photo, and that's slightly out of focus there. So once I've done my 10% on the edge, I'm then going to get my titanium buff. I'm just going to make sure the end's clean. And then we're going to do the same. And we're just going to blend it out so it fades out into the white a bit more. Like so. Okay. So again, we're going in the opposite direction. Little ovals. And we're just smoothing it all together. I need to write a list of must-have pencils for doing skin tones, really. And then what the buff titanium will come back and do is highlight some of the areas that need to be lighter. Again, opposite direction. quite a lot of fallout with Luminance, I find. Okay, so we then get our buff titanium. And we're just going to lighten the area that needs it. And then we are going to get our darker one again, just darken that top, very top edge. There we go, so that already gives her shoulder a bit of shape. Okay, let me write on my to-do list. Pencils for flesh. Pencils for blonde. That would be handy. Helps I could spell. That's all right, you know now. Loads of things I didn't know before, so you know, that's why you watch other people, because they're just able to show you little techniques that maybe you hadn't thought about before. Just going over very lightly with a really gentle brush over of Caput Mortem in some of the darkest areas. Okay, so I know that this bit in here needs to get darker because the transition between the inside of the finger and the shoulder is non-existent, whereas in the reference it needs to be much darker. And I'm thinking I'm bringing a warm grey in for this. I don't know why all my warm greys have disappeared. Hi, Deb. No, it doesn't. It is the cheapest of cheapies makeup brushes. Ignore that. Messy. I have two. My Funky Trusty, which if I have really stubborn fallout from erasers, I'll use because it's quite firm. This one comes from the pound shop. If you're in the US, dollar store, Dollar Tree, whatever they are, do not go anywhere else and buy them for £2-3 quid because it's just not worth it. And these are perfect because you don't need that really long brush, and they're really, really, really super soft. So that's all it is. It's a makeup brush and it just stops me sweeping it with my hand then. I've learnt so much from watching you. Thank you. I try and help. Okay, she's really washed it out where that light is shining. Let me move it. There we go. Okay, phone's gone again. Phone keeps switching itself off to power saving. Okay, so I'm using the warm grey now to just get in to that bit there. There you go, that already brings her finger forward. We've lost a bit of shaping at the back here, so I'm just going to add that in now. I've got a doggy to share with its its owner, the lady who commissioned it today, but because Facebook is being so annoying, I can't do it. And I'm really, really pleased with how he turned out. Honestly, also if you're there, don't forget to get ball tools. Get yourself a set of ball tools because they are just the best thing since I don't eat sliced bread. They are the best thing since sliced cheese. Yeah, really, really good. So if you haven't seen, if you are new to me and you don't know why I use these, check out in the how-to section about how to add highlights in hair and beards and things, and it shows you how I use these. But this is what I use to get these white spots in the bandana there. It's a real lifesaver. I keep griping about going back to this pink, but honestly it is so pink in the reference. Okay, I'll keep looking over to my monitor because it's easier to look through it sometimes, see how we're doing. Okay, now pretty much the good majority over her knuckles, where they've gone quite white, is probably going to be done with buff titanium. That sounds rude. What sounds rude? Ball tools. And who said I had a rude mind? Tut tut. I didn't finish that hair, did I? Oh, you donut. I didn't finish the hair. Hang on, 2 seconds. 2 secondes. I'm not going to rush it too much, but I'll get the majority of it in there. The rest I can do when I come to do the other part of the bandana. You can't even see that, can you? Sorry. There. Right, that'll do until I can get on to the upper part of the bandana. Okay, so we're working on the flesh, so pretty much I will probably have to eradicate a little bit of that. I can't believe I didn't test it on coloured pencils. Ugh, who has an eraser thingy without doing it on coloured pencils, for goodness sake? Okay, so let's just get my lightest areas done. We need to bring it up a little bit on this side. There we go. That's better. It really depends, Deb. The car that I did recently was massive. That took me 23 hours. We have done this one over the course of... Is this our 4th live or our 3rd? It's our 4th, isn't it? 1, 2... It might be our 3rd. I'm pretty sure it's our 3rd. So we did on average an hour and a half to hour 40 each time. So you're looking at 3, 4, about 4 bit hours so far on this one. But it really does depend on size and details. Graphite ones tend to be much quicker. So I would say on average between 6 to 8 hours on an A4 portrait. On average. So this pretty much needs to fill in all of this knuckle area here. And we need to come up. I'm just essentially blocking in where it's really light. Again, she's quite pink around the tops of the nails. She's quite dark where the nail sort of meets the cuticle area. And then there's not much in the way of what you can see between the finger and the top of the finger and the shoulder. So that's a good indicator to how dark I need to go. Which is why I always say, if you're not sure about something, come back to it later. Because once you've done an area surrounding it, it tends to make more sense. And then you know how dark or light actually you need to go. I really enjoy your live sessions and learn so much. Thank you for doing these. My pleasure. I used to do them all on Facebook, but then Facebook just... I fell out with Facebook Lives. And if I am completely frank, I am trying to build my YouTube channel up. I'm trying to get tutorials on here for you guys. And doing tutorials on YouTube, on Facebook, if I wanted to put them on YouTube, I would have to download them, which then meant I lost quality. And yeah, I never found that the Facebook Lives were particularly great quality anyway. So I find YouTube direct, so I can save them and you can come back and watch them whenever you like. And it's open to a lot more people, so we're always good for that. I know many artists, and that is completely and utterly their right, don't like to share too much. But I know that when I started out, if I had someone that I could really follow and, you know, click with, then I don't know, I might have learned a bit quicker, no idea. But I think the thing is as well is because being self-taught, I'm not one of those that is a stickler for rules. And I don't believe that anybody should be forced to draw one way or another. I think it's down to you to find your style, and I sounded very Australian then, and everything I finished ended in a high note. Sound like jazzer. Oh, anyway, I'm dribbling on. I think you know what I'm getting at. I'm not here to tell you when something is hard and fast. I'm not the drawing police. And people learn at their own paces as well, and I think that's quite important. If only my old school teacher when I was 16 years old could see me now. Telling me I'll amount to nothing. Okay, the finger here is quite a mix of colours really, so I'm sort of going back and forth because I don't want to get the colours wrong too quickly. I've got little lines in here, quite subtle. I've got a strong line there, so I'll just draw that in essentially. There's a picture that I want to do of Madison, but I have absolutely no idea about how I'm even going to start. Bye, John. I hope your foot doesn't drop off. It's a really ethereal picture. I wonder if I've got it on my phone. I don't think I have. We did a photo shoot absolutely yonks ago. Myself and my sister. We do a lot of photo shoots together with the kids. And basically, it was something I saw on one of these silly 5-minute craft hack type things where we used glow in the dark or luminescence, stuff that glows under blue light. And it's just such a beautiful photo. And her face is all backlit and it's, yeah, but I haven't got a clue where the hell I'm going to start drawing that. So I will do it at some point. I just don't know when. How are your fingers compared to the previous drawing? Okay, so there you go. So 2017, 2019. Let me see. My phone's on 100%. I don't know how, because you're going to come through quite dark through the webcam, but you may be able to see just how pink and red those fingers are. There's quite a lot of contrast on here, so it's not actually as red as it's showing on my phone. But you can see that that's already closer than that. So big change already. Even the bandana, a bit stronger on the shadow there. And the colouring. So that's coming out well. And then of course, big difference in the skin tones. Be easier to show you when I'm zoomed back out. Alright, I might as well hold it now. I've got it right here. Be easier. I mean, part of the reason why I do this type of live as well is because I want to show you that every artist has started their journey at the beginning. And we've all had that self-doubt, and we've all said to ourselves, that's crap, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where to start. You know, we've all done that, we've all been there. And you know, I have absolutely no qualms about showing you any before and afters. I mean, I did it with the Ichabod. That was a huge difference between the first two. Even the Tom Hardy pictures, the difference between them two, it's just vast. So, and I think it's great as an artist to see how far you've come as well. And I think it's a nice pat on the back when you realise actually just how much you've developed. I said something to my best friend Maggie the other day, and I don't say this very often, so please don't think I'm that type of person, because I am not. But when I had the email through from the Kent Business Awards, I just sat back and just had a bit of a realisation that in my 4 years, of starting up as a full-blown artist, my CV has just, wow, it's insane. Really insane. You know, when you think about it, in that short space of time, and it is a short space of time, just how much has been achieved. And it's quite scary how quick and rapid some of these have happened. I didn't realise how long I'd been with Spectrum until the other day. Hi, Sucker Girl. I don't know where it comes from, but I've always been someone that if I want to know how to do something, I have to go and find out how to do it. Oh, I've got my concentration head on now, sorry. I've been waffling on and boring the hell out of you for the last 10 minutes. But okay, so we should be able to start blending out a bit more. I'm not keen on how this bit here, I don't think I erased the pencil line enough, and it's very cartoony in the sense that it looks like it's drawn. That's better already. Light flesh, where have you gone? In fact, I may use my ochre brown 10%. Just to add a bit of colour. You have achieved so much, but it's taken you a lot of hard work. I have fond memories of being your muse when you were doing your colouring books. Oh my God, how many nights did we do that? So many. I love the fact that we've got things like that to think about. I need to write down exactly all my achievements because I don't celebrate them enough. I really don't. I mean, like SBS, everyone's gone on and told the papers and this and that and the other, and I have literally done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Thank you. It's just down to lots and lots of layering, really, and making sure that you get things like your pencil motion nice and smooth. You don't see any lines or your paper through the bottom. Some people like that. I personally don't. Okay. So I'm just going to use the 10% to just blend this section out. And then I can go in with the titanium. Do you know what? I do miss that. And I miss Gabe, actually. He was really, really fun to work with. And he's taken himself off Facebook now, too. He's still contactable. But I do miss the thrill of all that sort of stuff. But now I get to work with Spectrum, so I suppose it's just one of those moving on things. I really need to get my arse in gear and sort out my book actually on Amazon because it just needs sorting out. We're actually quite light under there, so I don't think I'd probably go in with the light flesh. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with my buff titanium, and I am literally going to do exactly what I did on the last knuckle, straight over the top. This one I'm going to do with white because it needs to be highlighted. I thought I had my white out. Clearly I don't. Just use my Pablo white for the moment. So when I do go over with the titanium, it just gives me a much lighter base. Going to have to go as busy day tomorrow. Thanks, Bon. See you all next week. Bye, Joe. I use a combination of Caran d'Ache, Pablos and Luminance. I don't own many Luminance, but I have one specifically for skin tones, really. I mainly use Polychromos. Oh, come on. Thank you. Which Faber-Castell. Oh, that's such a nice colour. Dark flesh. Just going to use it on here just to bring a little bit more orange to that tone rather than it being quite so pink. Where's Coffee Man when you need him? I need a coffee. Right, I just need to bring that shading up a little bit because it's only really that section of knuckle that is lighter. There we go. That's really effective. I'm really pleased with that. The nail I've just got to sort out because it's not quite like that. There's too much light going on, I think. Not enough dark. That was to bring my cap at Mormon. Very gently. How's that? That's better. My dark flesh doesn't look like that. The camera is being a pain in the bottom, to be honest. So it's not really showing. As you saw, it brought that thing up really, really quite red, and it's not. So my camera's being a pain. Okay. We have quite tempted to bring in the, I can't even remember if we used this before. I don't think we did. It's called brownish orange, and I'm quite tempted just to bring it in to help with some of the shadows. See, there is still a bit here on her skin. There we go. It's a bit better. Can you compare the flesh? I've been drawing my whole life. Let me see if... hang on. But not to this extent. It's only in the last... I started doodling, hence the name, in 2005. Then I probably started seriously drawing in about did I say 2005? 2015. That 2016 is when I don't even... Do you know what? I don't think I do have the dark flesh. I must have used a different colour. Hang on. I can't even read it. That's because it's not dark flesh. I can't even see my dark flesh. Help if I gave you the right names, wouldn't it? Hang on. I can't get to my... Right, it's Venetian red I've just used. Oh, please don't tell me... I have a feeling I don't actually have any dark flesh. Yes, I do. There it is. That's dark, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was using Venetian red. Sorry about that. So there's your light, there's your medium, there's your dark, which is ridiculous. And then I was using Venetian red because I would consider that a dark flesh, not bright pink. So there you go. So they can go back in my sectional box there that I had custom made for me. And then we're going to crack on with the shoulder section. We've actually got a bit of purple going on in her knuckle area. I'm only just going to do a very, very light layer to assist me in knowing what's what, basically. Okay, Venetian red, because I've only just remembered that I'm using it in here. So this is the thumb, which is behind, that we're doing. And then I'm going to have to bring in a bit of the Caput Mortuum Violet. Then because we want a bit of luminosity, a bit of translucency, I'm probably going to blend... What am I going to blend with? No, I don't think I am. I'm going to blend it with the light flesh. It is, isn't it? I've never always understood some of their thinkings when it comes to the colours of the pencils. Okay, so that's her thumb. That was easy. Now we are going to have to start bringing in some sort of purples and greys. And I don't want to go straight to the purple, so I might just do a light layer of the grey or light beige, which is a Pablo colour. Let's get rid of some of those lines. I have. In fact, I have one in front of me. There you go. That was done with markers. And there are others which I don't have because they're generally done for Spectrum, so they've been sent off to the Spectrum head office. I've used marker base when I did the Deadpool picture, but I only used it on the text because I wanted the text to be as precise as I could get it, and I knew I wouldn't quite get that with pencils alone. So yeah, I used a marker base on there. Okay, I probably could do with getting a lighter purple, but I just really can't be bothered. That's how lazy I am being right now. They're all my greys. I'm going to have to be really, really light-handed with the purple, because I am being really, really lazy. Okay, 1 hour 50. I don't feel like I've got a lot done in 1 hour 50, but I suppose we've had a few explanations as well, haven't we, to help you guys. That's annoying me. Really, really annoying me. That's nowhere near. Come on, Bonnita, wake up. Bit better. There we go. Okay, a bit happier with that now. That's better. I say she's coming out a bit lighter than she should be on the camera, which is a bit annoying. Thank you. There is a video of that actually, because I did it with Arteza, so there's a review video of the turtle with me drawing it. I don't know if that's of interest to you, but it is on my channel if you wanted to have a look. Having to go really light-handed here because I'm being really lazy and can't be bothered to get any more pencils, which is not a good trick to be showing you, but okay, so I'm just doing it lightly, just really to get it blocked in where we need everything. The photo I'm doing now, if you mean the photo that I'm doing now, I know there's quite a big delay between what you hear and what I say. It's actually my own daughter, so it's my own photo. And I'm redrawing it because I did it a few years ago. She was my first ever attempt at a coloured pencil portrait. I'd only ever worked in graphite for portraits before then. So I set myself a challenge and she was it because I just loved the photo. Okay, so we need to be going much darker in here. Just bring that grey down a bit. This is the sort of process I end up going through whenever I do these portraits. Sometimes I just end up winging it. Right, I'm probably going to go to the 2-hour mark and then log off because my eyeballs are now unhappy with me. As for the last few days, it's been a constant drawing session. Thank you. Thank you very much. I go live every Wednesday, so we work on a project each week. Or not necessarily work on a project, but there are the previous live feed. I've actually given you a link to the reference photo so you can draw along with it. Okay, losing the plot. This is sort of the thing that grated me when I originally did the tutorial, the drawing the first time round. It's all the little intricacies of the hand. What are we doing for 1:58? Okay, well, I'm going to stop at the 2-hour mark. So we've got 2 minutes. So let's just pan out and compare where we are. As I said, I don't feel like I've done a huge amount, but we went through how to draw eyelashes. We went through how to do skin tone smoothing, and we went through first strokes. So the fact that we've probably taken about half an hour out for that, I suppose we're on par from previous live feeds. I had to fight the dog as she tried to get it on the action to see if food was involved. Missed some as I went to get a glass of water. Oh no! Okay, well we're at the end of it now really. So I'm going to zoom you right out so we can have a much better comparison. Let me just sort out the focus. Let's unblue tack it. So 2019, 2017. So already that hand is not only on par with the tones of her face, which is what it should be, but just that difference. I'm still in love with that nose. I'm really, really pleased. Sorry I keep looking over there, but I'm looking at it on the monitor. But yeah, so far, what a difference. So 2017, I don't know what month I did it in. I'd need to probably go back to my Instagram because it'll be on there, I imagine, when I would have originally uploaded it. It's massive, isn't it, the improvement? It's quite, it is quite a difference. Even the hair colour. I mean, now I've come back as well. I mean, that shadow was grating on me, if I was honest, when we first did it. And I was a bit worried I messed it up. But now we've got everything else in there. And of course, now you've zoomed out and you're looking at this hand in a much more natural light position. That pink doesn't look wrong. It works. See, that's completely gone. That's completely faded. So yeah, I'm excited to keep going. I think we're going to end up doing the rest of this over 2 live feeds. I shall speed it up. As I say, it's been a really, really long, mind-blowing week. And it's just been so busy. And I reckon 2. We'll go with 2. So thank you for those that have stuck through with me and watched with me. If you did enjoy it, please, please, please hit the thumbs up button, because the YouTube algorithms go nuts for it, which means that I do better in the rankings, which means people find me easier. So I would love it if you could just give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already and you're quite happy to follow me, then hit that subscribe button. Live every Wednesday. I try and upload a standard video a minimum of once a week now. I'm on Facebook, Bonnita Doodles, Twitter, Bonnita Doodles, and Instagram, Bonnita Doodles, if you want to come find me. But I shall see you on the next live. So have a good morning, evening, afternoon, whichever it may be. And I shall see you on the other side. Bye.